So we come back around to the solution to our problems, our health problems, our climate problems, the problems I live in rural America a good part of the time, up in northern Minnesota. Rural America, well, we're only 10 or 15% of the population, but we have these problems that are the same across the country. Like, there's no jobs for young people. It's expensive to live, and yet there's no functioning rural economy the way there used to be, where people raise most of their own food in the regions they live in. We've got a crisis in rural America. Corporate agribusiness has become dominant in the rural communities that still have farming going on, and they're not producing food for people. They're producing typically commodities for the market, genetically engineered grains and corn, soybeans, alfalfa, cotton, so on. The factory farms are replacing family farms. The situation is a mess. You can't drink the water. You can't swim in the water in these farming areas. So things are connected. So how are we going to solve this? Well, we have to start from where we're at, and one nice thing about the people watching this show today, and one nice thing about millions of Americans, is that they understand what I call natural health, and that we've got to change the way that we eat, change the way we behave, change the way that we react when we get sick. And there's millions and millions of people who understand this now. The problem is that the natural health movement is not connected necessarily at all to the climate movement or to the food movement or to rural America for that matter. It's much more difficult to get the kind of information on health that those of us in cities have compared to people in rural areas. And the country is obviously, we're in a mess right now. I mean, most people, they don't trust the government anymore. They know the elites are running things. They know that their life is right on the verge of economic bankruptcy. They know the climate is changing, but it's just become too much for people to deal with. So let's start from where we're at. And, as an individual, as a family, as a community, as a network of friends and coworkers, we can start to change things. You can afford to eat healthy food if you will take your whole lifestyle into consideration. If you learn how to cook better, all of us can improve our cooking skills. We can afford organic and healthy food if we stop going out to restaurants, if we figure out in our budgets how we can put a priority on our health, because that is the most important thing in the long run that we have. Health is wealth, as the Roman philosopher Virgil said. Okay. How are we going to solve this climate crisis, this food crisis, this health crisis? How are we going to regenerate our health? Regenerating our health means that not only can we fix some of the problems that we have in our health, we can actually get healthier. We can regenerate ourselves. We can go beyond limited organic, something with an organic label on it. We can start to buy food where not only it's organic, but the farmers and ranchers we're trying to buy from them locally or regionally. We're trying to look at the big picture about, stop eating factory farm meat and animal products. If you're a carnivore, if you're a consumer of meat and animal products, it's like you'll be healthier to eat less of that junk. And if you're going to eat meat and animal products, which most of us do, make sure that it is not raised in a factory farm, and if you eat less but higher quality, you're going to be healthier. The same thing with fruits and vegetables and grains. It's just like, stop buying stuff unless it's organic, and learn how to spend the same amount of money, but having a much healthier diet, and talk to your kids and your grandkids about these matters. Take them out to visit an organic farm. Most people, if they could see industrial farming up close, factory farms, the pesticides, the pollution, the cancer epidemic in rural communities, they would start to change. And we've got to start realizing that the solution to the climate crisis is underneath our feet. It's what's at the end of our forks and knives, as much as it is about our transportation and so on. We can all start to drive less and walk more. I try to get out and take a hike an hour at least every day. And I try to swim, I try to bicycle, and I try to stay out of the car as much as I can. I try to, flying is no longer a pleasant experiment or experience that often. So I've tried to reduce the amount of long distance travel. We can all do this. We can start from where we're at. But then we have to educate ourselves. Obviously the mass media is filled with propaganda and, instilling bad habits and so on in people. You got to search out the alternative sources of information. Go to our website, organicconsumers.org, and subscribe to our free newsletter and start looking at the information that we're providing, because we're providing information about regenerating your health, your food, the farming, and the climate.